Good morning. So, we're here today with Miss Talia Lundy. Talia, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Talia Lundy. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm attending college Unbound.
Alright, make sure you speak loud enough. Okay, so I was told for a class assignment to interview someone from Providence. So, this is my Providence native, and today we're going to talk about the change in Providence that she has seen through her eyes, her 18 years of living here, and she's going to talk about how she is changing Providence today. So, with that being said, I want to start by asking you, where did you grow up at in Providence? What neighborhood did you grow up in? How was the dynamic of that neighborhood?
Okay, so I moved around a lot. I lived not in this area where we are now in Public Street, which would be known as the south side of Providence. I lived more towards the north side of Providence, which is the borderline of Cranston and Johnston, two other cities. The dynamic of it is it's a large community, a lot of markets, primarily Hispanic markets, a lot of stores, a lot of restaurants within walking distance. And most of my neighbors, I knew them. I mean, I didn't really talk to them or I'd say hi, but I just knew who they were because I seen them all the time. The house that I lived in the longest was for 4 years on Picasset Ave, which is right around Cranston.
So, about that neighborhood you were raised in, have you seen that? Like, have you been back to that neighborhood lately?
Yes.
So, have you seen a change there from when you were younger and you knew your neighbors and you felt comfortable there to now?
Yes.
Can you explain that
I would say
change?
there has been a change not only in that neighborhood, but in all of Providence. I would say the violence in certain areas are bad, but not necessarily all areas, and I would say that things have gotten better. There used to be hookers on Elmwood Ave. There used to be the pimps there. Like, my mom couldn't wait at the bus stop without getting harassed when she'd wait for me to come back from school. So things have definitely changed. Things are still getting better. Does that answer your question?
When you say violence, like, when you were younger, I want to know your perspective on violence when you were younger.
My perspective on violence when I was younger, to what I was shown, was primarily domestic violence between couples, because I lived door to a woman who her husband beat her. So that's as far as my knowledge of violence went. As I got older, I seen violence such as gang fights or just fighting in schools. That became a lot of violence between peers that became very problematic.
What do you mean by problematic?
Well, instead of just, like, oh, there's a fight or there's a shooting and you don't really know why, it's just like word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school and I actually seen teenagers fighting each other, like, thinking it's cool, so it just became a part of the culture.
The culture.
Yeah.
So you say that violence became a part of the culture of your city when you were about
12. So it became friends being friends, so friends having dislikes or a problem with someone else, and then that became a group, and then you can see how then you can see how gang violence ended up playing a role in the small city.
gang violence. How do you, like, what is gang violence to you?
Gang violence to me is a group of people who have themselves a name, rather be Crips or Young Bloods. They carry around a tattoo, and they have weapons, and either they fight people or they kill people for whatever purpose they have. To me, it's stupid, it's dumb, it causes problems that don't need to happen, it's unnecessary. And I will never understand it. And I've never really, like, personally seen it, but I have heard of it and I am aware that it is happening.
So now you're 12 years old and you're learning about gangs and the gangs and how they affect your city. Did this change your social life in Providence?
In a way. When I was young, I always wanted to hang out, stay out late at the park. One time I stayed out till like 10 o'clock at night. My mom, she came to that park. She dragged me home and she was yelling at me. I thought it was so cool, I thought I was missing out. But what I realized is the kids that parents neglected them, the ones who were staying out late, they were getting into trouble. They were doing, things or getting involved in things they shouldn't have. So by my mom keeping me home at certain points in time or keeping me away from certain places, she was protecting me from that. So now that I'm older, I understand it and I appreciate it.
Cool. So, I guess my next question would be, how do you think that gang violence, like, have you seen, what positive change have you seen against gang violence in your city?
Well, I do know that the study of nonviolence, the Institute, has been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Besides just being involved with College Unbound, they've been around since I was a freshman in high school. I applied to get a job there, but I guess I had no nonviolence experience, so I never got accepted. So I thought it'd be nice just to help out.
What
So,
what exactly do you know the nonviolence of being in charge for? Like what? I don't understand.
actually, I just thought that they went around to schools promoting nonviolence. I didn't know that they had street workers.
Mhm.
That's what they are. People who've actually been in a gang or in some kind of violence, helping others. I didn't know that they had nonviolence training. I didn't know any of that. I just thought they were instituted that helped with that necessarily.
So the implementation of nonviolence in the nonviolence core in this community, you've seen it. Would you say it has made a drastic change, or would you say you went to the Met High School? So would you say the Met High School has made a change on a lot of the students here? Like, what's your perspective from that?
I would say they both made a drastic change. When a student has a support system, when a student gets individualized attention, they're allowed to be themselves and to succeed in what they want and to actually realize what it is that they want. So they're not getting caught up in being ignored by the teachers, getting pissed off at the teachers. It's more of a family friend, environment, but they're also getting the academic work done. They're also following their work. They're they're being allowed to grow,
Being
and they're
allowed to
surrounded
grow.
by positiveness. Not to say that there wasn't any fights or arguments at the Met, but it was handled differently. It wasn't you go to the principal's office and you get suspended. It was okay. So what is the problem? It was mediation. There were social workers there. If you had problems, you can go to the social worker. You know what I mean? A professional social worker and talk to them. So there was just many resources that are not available in a traditional school setting that you shouldn't take for granted because it really makes a difference. High school is probably one of the toughest transitions or one of the toughest things that you'll deal with in life. Besides, then next the college, situation and then something.
So would you say the Met made you different? Like it gave you a different perspective in life and pushed you to succeed and make change in your city?
Yes, the Met helped me a lot. My mom specifically applied there because I was getting into a lot of trouble in middle school. I was not necessarily passing. So we moved to work and I went to Aldridge for a year and I had to go through tutoring. But I was doing well. There wasn't, any violence. But once again, I was secluded to one race and I wasn't in a diverse setting. So the Met allowed me to be in a diverse setting, allowed me to succeed